Hello! A large part of this week is dominated by me sitting in a movie theater, planting my butt firmly in the seat to watch the Fantasy FilmFest Nights. 4 days or 3.5, and I am asking myself, how will that impact my weight loss? Will I be able to eat properly while sitting in the dark? If you are interested in finding out, then stick with me, and as always I say, thanks for watching.
As you know by now, I'm doing Weight Watchers, and I'm currently having 42 points per day. I also have a weekly allowance of 28 points, from where I can take points if needed, but also can save up to 4 points per day and put it in there, as well as earn points from physical activities like walking. My personal goal is it to end the week with the 28 points intact. With that being said, let's get started. I started the day with a banana as breakfast. Just a banana because you might remember from last week's video that we originally had planned a big feast to celebrate my mother's birthday with schnitzel and asparagus. Unfortunately, I had to cancel because I was coming down with a cold, but that day, unfortunately, when I was going shopping, I found a great bargain, so I couldn't resist to buy all the fixings that we would also have used at our get-together. I got potatoes, 6 points worth, asparagus, 0 points, a big schnitzel, 17 points, and a very lean hollandaise, which only has 4 points. Which I think is crazy because the real deal would almost have my daily allowance exceeded already. So 4 points is a really great deal. So all of this has 27 points. And sorry, I really feel a little bit guilty towards my sister. Angie, I'm so sorry that I did that on my own, but no worries, we will catch up on the main thing with you and mom soon. Later that day I had 2 more pieces of strawberry pepper chocolate, 4 points, half a bag of onion rings, 8 points, and 1 skinny brownie at 3 points. On Monday I tried a different kind of protein bread and also crisp bread, so 4 points and 2 points, with 1 point's worth of cold cuts on it. Then I spent 14 points on a salad, which was basically for 3 tablespoons of oil and the herb mix. And later that day then I had a veggie stir fry worth 3 points. And as frozen stuff like this always loses a lot of volume once you have it in the frying pan, I also beefed it up a little bit with throwing in some eggs, which comes at 0 points. And at the end I also put in a little bit of ketchup, 2 points worth, so here we go. Later then another 3 pieces of chocolate, 6 points. And in the evening while watching TV, some bread chips, 9 points worth of them. And also somewhere in between I had a beef bar as a snack, which only comes at 2 points. On Tuesday I started with a coffee nut latte, 5 points, and some protein bread with cold cuts for 4 points. I then had a green bean stew, 8 points, and in the evening some nuggets, 16 points worth, where I also tried a new sauce, which only had 1 point, but I spiced it up by mixing in a little bit from my favorite old sauce, where I used 2 points worth. In the evening I had a bag of high protein crackers, which came in at 6 points. On Wednesday again protein bread and cold cuts, 5 points for that. And then because I was working very concentrated that day and actually quite long, I was finally breaking out the pizza I had lying around in my freezer for quite a while, because it has a whopping 45 points. It was quite delicious, but it also soon gave me heartburn, which tells me that maybe my body starts to really don't crave that much fatty food anymore. Having already exceeded my daily allowance, I was trying to cook something up that has 0 points. So I took a can of white beans, black beans, 2 different kinds of diced tomatoes, and as a base I used broth. I also had the idea of throwing in a whole onion into this tomato bean soup. Which was a bad idea because it was delicious, but I cut my thumb quite heavily. Fortunately it was a straight gash and not a slicing off, because with a gash I can live, but I would have no idea what to do if I would have sliced off a little bit of my thumb. So what you see here came at a price, but it was actually quite delicious, especially for 0 points. And I ended up not even using the black beans and the second pack of diced tomatoes, but I threw in a little bit of tomato paste to thicken up the liquid.
It's Thursday, and today and tomorrow I have taken time off because there is another movie festival, the Fantasy FilmFest Nights, which is 3.5 days long, and they are showing 17 movies, so I wanted to see them. And this is where I will head today. But this also poses the question for me, what to take with me into the movie theater, because if I'm sitting there the whole day, I need to have something to eat, and with the Weight Watchers program, that might be a little bit tough. So I was thinking maybe go for bread rolls again like last time, but maybe not as much as I did back then. That was 6 bread rolls per day. Maybe I go to have just 4 of them and then some other stuff. I don't know. I will see. I will have to go to the grocery stores and buy some supplies. I guess some bananas as well. Those always come around quite well when you have to sit in a movie theater and have to open something in the dark, so bananas work fine. That's basically my update for today. Also yesterday, you might have remembered, I cut my thumb while chopping onions. It wasn't as bad as I thought at first, but it also was quite deep a cut still, so seems to be okay now. I will keep an eye on it, but so nothing really serious, but it really just gives you the idea of what it would be, what life would be without a thumb, because I try not to use it so that I don't dirty up that plaster. But still, it is weird washing your hair without a thumb and tying your shoelaces with just one thumb. It's weird, but it's an interesting experience as well. The other thing I wanted to share is that today I had a nice breakfast, because I knew that when I was going into the movie theater I will not have much to eat, and I also knew that I have the 0-point soup from yesterday as a leftover. So I was giving myself the opportunity to have some morning muffins again with strawberry jam and a little bit of butter. But the finding I had there is that in the past I would have just estimated the jam and how much it was based on the amount of teaspoons I use. Because the app is just asking for teaspoons. You could also switch to grams, but that usually is too complicated or not easy enough, let's say it like that. It's way easier to just count the tablespoons or the teaspoons in this case. And what I noticed is, because as you know, I want to be as precise as I can be with counting my points per day. So what I did is really weighing the butter, weighing the jam, and I found out that even though if I would have just counted it as usual, because I had 6 patties of morning muffins, so 6 half, and on each of it I put a tablespoon, or sorry, a teaspoon, I keep confusing those, a teaspoon of jam, and the app would then just say 6 spoons, it's 4 points. But by actually weighing the weight of the stuff that I took out, it came down to 8 points. So even without knowing it, I was cheating myself in the past, so it's more of a reason to really be very, very precise in what you are taking in. So that's all I wanted to say, and now I will have a few more steps and then I will have to go to the convenience store, buy some stuff, and then it's off to the movies.
And this is my pick to take with me into the movie theater. Chickpeas chips, 10 points, 2 of these bananas, 0 points, and 2 bread rolls with 0 points worth of cold cuts on it, and I used yogurt again instead of butter, 9 points.
Hi there, it's beautiful weather today, and it's the first day this year I would actually call perfect t-shirt weather. So I of course like it, but also of course today I'm spending most of the day in a dark room watching movies, as the festival is still running. Second day today, so I headed out to at least have a little bit of this nice day by even just sitting here and filming some stuff. I might not get that many steps in, though I had some already, because of course with that nice weather almost every park bench is already taken, so I had to find one where I can film a little bit with no one disturbing me. So this is happening right now. I will head out soon because the movies are about to start in about 1.5 hours. So I also baked up some bread rolls. Of course they were not brown enough, so I kept them in a little bit longer. and then I forgot them. And when I took them out, they were right on the precipice of being completely burned. Not sure if I will still be able to use them or if I just have to do something else for my eating regimen today. I will find out, I will decide in a few minutes. But that is just my quick update on the go.
As I soon had to leave, I didn't even have time to follow that squirrel, which really bugs me because there were a lot of them running around that day. And I could not investigate further what kind of bug this is. So if you know, then just please tell me in the comments. In addition to the bread rolls, I also took with me 4 more bananas and I had a beef bar worth 2 points. At the end of the day, I only had used up 23 points and was still quite hungry. So because I had to use those points, I guess, I had a late night döner on my way home. It was bigger than you can see here, but I just forgot to film it earlier. 20 points. On Saturday, pretty much the same. Bread rolls and bananas, 21 points. Then 2 more beef bars and another bag of chickpea chips, 5 and 10 points. Later that day, when I was back home, I also had another skinny brownie, 3 points worth. So I ended that week with 31 points in my weekly allowance, which is a big win, especially since I spent so much time sitting in a movie theater. Quite interesting if that then will mean that I will be down another kilo this week or not. Let's check.
I will just jump straight to it. This week I lost weight again, but not as much as I was hoping for because, you know, maybe I was just sitting too much on my butt in the movie theater, maybe it was the lack of movement in general, maybe it was the late night döner I had in between. I don't know, but I was losing 200 grams, which is not much, but also not shabby. At least it's going down. Muscle mass is going up and the body fat down. I guess it's paying off that I concentrate a lot on eating protein lately. So that seems to be actually helping me to build up muscle, which is great. I have now more muscle mass than even last year when I started and was quite heavy involved in walking. So I was walking much more back then. So I guess it really pays off. So that's it for this week. I hope next week I will have a little bit more to show for. If not, at least it was going down, so I'm quite happy with that. I assume that the trend will continue. I hope again that it will be a little bit more next week. I hope you had a successful week this week, and I hope the next week for all of us will be quite alright. And at the end of it, I hope you tune in again to find out what was up with me over that week that will come. And till then, I say thank you for watching and enjoy the weather that hopefully will be a little bit better this week. And I have to say, this movie really screws with your head, as this bell of the church is now screwing with my recording. More you can find out once the bells has stopped and once my main video will drop for this movie. See you then.